What is happening, everyone? I have some news to share with you guys today, which you won't even be able, which at first I couldn't even believe. A connection of mine has told me not everything, but near enough most things about Grand Theft Auto 6, including its location. As you can see on the bottom screen there, I know an awful lot of YouTubers have covered this, but there is an outline of what appears to be London. And this, of course, is an Easter egg, which he says was purposely put in the game, like it was in Grand Theft Auto 4. There was Easter eggs saying where, not so saying, but pointing to the location of where Grand Theft Auto 5 was set. And he told me that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be based in London, and it's going to be set in the year 1969. Now you may be wondering to yourself, what the hell? Why are Rockstar setting Grand Theft Auto 6 in London in the 1960s? Well, the reason simply is simply because he said that nowadays setting the game in today would be very hard, and it would be very hard to sort of create any type of storyline or things to do, content. There would be a great lack of content in the game, because there isn't really an awful lot of, like, in London there's a lot to do, but there isn't really a lot which Rockstar could really use to create a really good game. And the 1960s has been chosen because it was such an iconic time. It was the place to be in London, and with that, drugs were coming in, and big criminal organisations were sort of basically cashing in on that. And that's when sort of violence went up, and couldn't be like a better time to set a time period to set the game in. And he tells me that because Rockstar have actually made a game before in the 1960s, and it was Grand Theft Auto London back in 1997. But Grand Theft Auto 6 would be a hell of a lot bigger. I mean, the map will be a lot bigger. It will not be a bird's eye view. It will not be a 2D game. It will be exactly how you see it in Grand Theft Auto 5. He also said as well that there's not going to be 3 protagonists like in Grand Theft Auto 5. Instead, he said there's only going to be one. And he said the reason for this is so that they can focus more on the sort of storyline of that one character, and also as well because he said that they would found it very, very hard to basically create 3 protagonists for Grand Theft Auto 6. He said that it was a big, big challenge. So by having one character, there's a greater, he says, focus on that one character. And he said that the story mission, the story mode on Grand Theft Auto 6 is, unfortunately for people who like campaigns and story mode, whatever you want to call it, it is going to be shorter, but still the same length as Grand Theft Auto 5, but not as long as Grand Theft Auto 4 and previous Grand Theft Autos. The reason for this is that he said from the results, not from the results so much, but from sort of basically information which Rockstar has collected through Grand Theft Auto 5, and the amount of people and whatever he said, and definitely the modern generation, they are more interested in multiplayer. So it makes a hell of a lot more sense, and it's a lot more financially beneficial to focus more on the online. And there's going to be a lot more to do. I mean, you're going to be able to buy apartments, you're going to be able to do exactly what really you could do in Grand Theft Auto 5 online, but completely different, in a completely different setting. And he said what they're working on is just absolutely amazing. I mean, he says all the DLCs, he says where you'll be able to buy nightclubs and run them, and pretty much like the import and export DLC. He says there's a DLC like that for Grand Theft Auto 6 Online, and he just said it is going to be absolutely awesome. And he said that he can't wait himself until the game will actually be released. And he also, as well, because not a lot of people actually know this, but quite a lot, all Rockstar employees who actually work on Grand Theft Auto are actually given a free copy of the game they work on. And he said that he could get hold of 5 new copies of Grand Theft Auto 6 a month before their national release. But as I live in the UK, they are only going to be PAL games. So if you're watching this in the US, I will not be able to send you a copy because they will not be compatible with your console system. He says that he'll be able to get it for he says he'll be able to get it for any system, PC, console, any console. And he says he can actually choose. So if you like this video and you subscribe, then when Grand Theft Auto 6 does get released, and he says that a release date hasn't exactly been official release date hasn't exactly been decided yet, because the game is still in development and it isn't exactly finished, but he said sometime around 2021. And the reason for this, the reason why Grand Theft Auto 6 is not going to be released for quite a few years now is actually because they want to basically get as much money and releases all the DLCs for Grand Theft Auto 5. They want to get basically as much out of Grand Theft Auto 5 as possible. They want to basically get, and when there's nothing there's no more DLCs which they could possibly release for Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. That is when Grand Theft Auto 6, and he says that the DLCs are going to stop. They're going to be released right up until within about, he said 2 months within the release of Grand Theft Auto 6. So the last DLC for Grand Theft Auto Online, Grand Theft Auto 5 Online, will actually be a month before the release of Grand Theft Auto 6. And he says by then there's going to be a trailer, and he says by far, he says I know that he says there is a bit of fear actually when it was first mentioned first proposed about setting Grand Theft Auto 6 in London as quite a lot of, it's going to be boring, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, but he says that they have fixed all those problems, and he says they've actually made a better game, in his opinion, at the development stage at the moment, 100 times better than Grand Theft Auto 5. But of course that's opinion, and the game is just going to be absolutely brilliant. It's going to have so much content. It's not going to have a female protagonist, but you are going to be able to have the option of a female protagonist. There's going to be the option between a male and a female protagonist, and you can choose. The missions are exactly the same, but they will give you that choice, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And it's just, I mean, the amount of just content in the game, and it is just so, I mean, the connection who told me this was putting his really career at risk, and that's why I'm not really going to say much about him. But this information is 100% reliable, and YouTube may even take this video down, but I highly doubt it. There's quite a lot of videos like this on YouTube, but this one is legit. I have it from a legit connection, and he has told me this legitimately. He has told me that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be set in London, and it will be set in 1968 because of the iconic time period, and he said that it is going to be, Rockstar hopes that Grand Theft Auto 6 will sell better than Grand Theft Auto 5, as it will be a new, exciting location for the game, and I am really, really excited for it. So share this video with your friends, share it on Facebook, share it wherever, like it. I want as many people as possible to see this video as possible. And that is all. Hope you're having A nice